Welcome to another episode of Tiger Talk. I'm your host, Don Holston, Athletic Director for Armada Area Schools. Today we have a special guest. It is our trap team coach, Clifford Urbanek. Cliff and the trap team went out to Mason, Michigan a couple weeks ago and secured a state championship, the second in Armada High School history. Welcome to the show, Cliff.
Thanks, Don.
Appreciate you being here. Some pretty exciting news.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Kind of unexpected.
Yeah, well, that's good. And that's always the best, right? When it's unexpected.
Yeah.
So I think what we should do is start a little simple. Let's talk about what is trap shooting.
Trap shooting is a clay target sport. It's done on a field in a semi-arc, 5 posts. 5 shots per post. A round is 25. Usually tournaments is 100 rounds for the tournament shoot.
Yeah, I know at the state meet it was 100 rounds.
Yeah, there's a lot going on out there. They got the Amateur Trap Association, the youth programs, the AIM. They do a lot more shooting, a lot more traveling. So the high school shoots at the B&BS Gun Club. We don't travel. Everything's scored on the internet and it's compiled, and that's how we can.
Kind of an honor system thing.
Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned Michigan High School Trap. So there's an actual Michigan High School Trap League, correct?
Yes.
And that started how long ago?
That started back in 2016.
Okay. And I know when you had come to me and talked about a trap shooting team, I was all for it. I'm an avid shooter. I love to shoot trap. I'm not as good as I thought I was when I came out to the club and tried it.
It's all different.
Yeah. But why don't you tell us what gave you the idea to bring this to the high school?
Well, actually, this started from the club. The president got a phone call from Minnesota. Somebody out there called up and thought we would be interested in joining their league. It's all started in Minnesota, and they've been trying to grow it throughout the United States. I believe to date they have 20 states that are participating in this league. So, wow. And they do make it fun. Not only do the kids compete in Michigan against the other high schools, but they have what they call a fun shoot, where they'll actually take the scores and team you up with other kids from other states.
Oh wow! Okay.
So we had Philip Vasily. He ended up on a winning team one week, so that was kind of fun.
Well, that's kind of cool. So they match them up with shooters from all the other states.
It's kind of like a random. Whoever when you register, you apply that you want to be on the fun league. So they'll just randomly pull names and put you on a squad, and from your score, they compile it with the other kids, and then you compete with the 20 states. So,
well, I know when you mention guns, you mention high school. A lot of times there's a negative connotation there. With the bad stuff that we've seen over the years, but this really has been a positive thing going forward.
Yes, I think the education's been out there. All the kids that participate in the league require hunter safety, or what they call the SAFE. It's basically just hunter safety, how to handle the gun, how to be responsible, and like that. So,
well, I know with safety, I've been out there. I've watched you guys participate. I've watched you guys compete. I was actually lucky enough to make it out to Mason to watch you guys shoot, which was. There's a couple things actually that came to mind there, and I'll follow up with that in a second. But you talk about safety. What are some, like when a student athlete is out there and they're part of the trap team, what are some safety guidelines that they have to follow?
The gun action is always open unless you're on the firing line. There is no round chamber. You're only allowed 1 round, and like I said, until you're ready to shoot, you don't load your gun. So
now I do notice, like when you said it has the 5 stations in the semi-arc, I do notice that the participants who are out there and are preparing, they'll have their, if it's a single shot, they have the break open, or if it's a pump, the action is open. And I watch, and they won't actually load that single round in until it's just about to them where they're ready to shoot.
Correct.
So, okay.
Correct. Everything's safe. You have to be safe. You have to maintain safety. We are required to have a range safety officer, one of the coaches. But safety is everybody's concern from the student to the parent in the parking lot. If they don't see something they don't like, they need to speak up and say something. So I know the league is very observant when kids are changing posts. They want them to turn a certain way. They want them to hold the gun with both hands and be in control. Really be aware of where that barrel is pointing. You get a lot of parents that will say, I'm being flagged, which means that the barrel been pointed at them. Even though the gun's open, we always treat it like it's loaded.
Sure. No, and that's the one thing I was impressed with. Even being out at the club, which again, we need to give a shout out to BNBS Gun Club in Ray Township on 31 Mile Road. The club has been great with, giving our kids time on the range, and that's appreciated, because without that, it would be tough to have a team. It'd be tough to have the success that we've had.
Yeah. Well, as club participants or club members, there's a lot of clubs out there vying to get a team in, because they see the youth, they want them to come out, they want them to use their facility. They want them to come in and be members, keep this sport going. There's an organization out there that's called PATH, Pass Along the Heritage. They do wonderful things. They're one of our sponsors. They kind of set up for special needs kids.
Oh, good.
To be able to go out and hunt and fish and stuff like that.
That's nice.
So I believe it's a small group. It's probably bigger than what I expect, but I know they go out, they try to raise money, and like I said, it's for kids that need some help. So
that's
it's
good.
An organization. If you want to look them up, I know there's a couple people here locally that are members of that. So
you can find them probably online too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we talked about how the sport has grown. Okay, so I know we say that, but it's amazing. In our first year, and I remember the first year when we were getting everything up and running.
Yes.
How many athletes did you have on the track team?
I believe the number is like 28.
Okay.
There's only 7 high schools. When we started in 2016, Armada was one of the first 7 that really
came in from the start.
Right. It wasn't too hard talking with you.
Yeah.
It was Mike Musry. It was kind of difficult, but I mean, with a little bit of explaining. And
In fairness to him, he had never had any exposure to the sport. He's not necessarily
I got to give him a lot of credit, because there was a lot of pressure. I know there was a lot of schools and a lot of school districts looking at us being number 1 out of 7. How was it going to be run? How was it going to operate?
I can verify that, because I had probably, that first year, I probably had 15 schools that called me and asked me, how's it going? What is it like? And they were just looking for general information, because they wanted to do it, but again,
nobody wants to be first.
Right. So and Mike's great. I mean, if it's an opportunity for our kids and it's safe and he knows it's going to be well coached, he's all on board, because he's about opportunity for our kids. So it was collaborative effort that first year, I believe.
Right.
And I think you guys have taken it and really ran with it. So
right along up, we've had great support from the high school, from Mike, from you, Brenda Byers, Mrs. Phillip. Yeah, it's just been a really nice experience getting this going. There's a lot of support out there, but I think that first year there was a lot of eyes on us.
Yeah, I think so too. But honestly, I had my own concerns, because we were, as administrators, we were kind of sticking our proverbial neck out there. But I felt like it was worth it, because it really, like I said, I think it brought in a group of kids who may not have been part of a school team in any way, or this was something that is kind of their thing, So,
and I think that was a conversation between my wife and I. When I heard about it through the club, I'd said I'd check into it, and then I think she expressed that you were looking for an alternative sport. That maybe somebody that wouldn't go out for baseball or football would want to participate in. So, and that's why I came to Armada and proposed it. I'm glad everything turned out great.
Yeah, and it has really. It's been a positive addition, to our clubs. It's been, for the students themselves. It's another opportunity. So I mean, I think there's been great things that happen. You talked about 28 that first year.
Yeah.
How many did you have this year?
We had 40. Last year we had 58 in the spring. That was a lot of kids. But this year, the coaching staff wanted to get serious. We took enough.
Well, I guess you got serious. You won a state championship.
Like I said, we talked with other coaches, Richmond, Dexter, and there's a lot of ribbing out there. So it's like, let's get serious. Let's be competitive. Yeah. I know Richmond was state champs last year. Let's try to beat them. So.
Well, they did take second, right? You did beat them. They took second,
and you know what? They make us better, and I hope we make them better.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's a good way to look at it. Yeah, you're too nice.
It's togetherness. All the coaches work together for one thing, and this to get these kids involved and get them out there.
Yeah, when I was out at the state meet in Mason, it does really feel like it's like a family atmosphere. It really does. Everybody had their tents all set up. They had, you're able to camp there this year. It was really cool to be able to see that.
Right. In that aspect, it has grown tremendously. The first year we went out to Michigan Trap Shooters Association, I don't believe anybody camped. We went out there for the one day. I believe it was the second year. The Herberts took their camper, and that started. I think they're the only ones that second year, and then it just started from there. So it's really been growing. The national tournament coming up, July, 12th, 13th, and 14th. They're going to have 1,800 individuals participating.
Wow. And that's at Mason again, right?
That's at Mason again. Yeah. 1,800 individuals, and then they'll have 220 teams that will participate over the weekend.
So 7 teams that first year. How many teams were at the state meet this year?
53. There's 66 in the league. 53 showed up and participated.
That's amazing. And since 2016, so 3-4 years.
Yeah, it keeps on doubling. Every year we go out there.
Well, I think what you said is, there's those teams that are participating. Other people are seeing that's actually safe. It's very safe. It's very well controlled. As long as you put the right people in place, the kids are going to learn, be educated on, on the sport, safety and all that. So I think it's great. I mean, I'm glad to see that it's taken off the way it has.
And believe it or not, there is a ton of scholarship money out there. Everybody wants to give away a scholarship. Right down from Winchester to Michigan Trap Association, the NRA, PATH. There's money for education out there.
That's awesome. So we talked about the teams. We talked about really what trap shooting is. Let's start bragging a little bit. Okay?
Brag.
Let's brag a little bit. How did this year go for you?
This year went great. Scores were higher than we expected. We had more perfect rounds, straight 25s. I know Philip came out there. He shot a straight 50 out at at the state.
Wow.
So
if people think that's easy, it's not. Trust me. I mean, I'm an average shooter, and I got out there all cocky thinking I was gonna start shooting every target that come out of the house. But it's tough. It's really tough.
Mentally, it's tough because you got to keep on thinking about stuff, and just a little bit, throw your game off. A lot of concentration, a lot of balance. So it is. It's a feat, and I think that a lot of people keep on coming back to it because it's not that easy to get that perfect round. So
I kind of coincided with my golf game.
Just like golf, it depends on the day. Is it raining? Is it sunny?
Yeah, right.
Everything's a very...
And you guys shooting all weather except for lightning, pretty much, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They won't call it unless it's a torrential downpour or lightning.
Right. So let's go back to bragging now.
Okay.
You don't get modest on me. So tell me, how did this year go with the different competitions that you went to?
About like we expected, right behind. Kept it close though. I mean, our kids really stepped up. I gotta give them a lot of credit. They put a lot of work into it. They turned it around. They're in it.
Mm-hmm.
They like it. We've had, like I said, more perfect rounds this year, which is really great. Averages. I think the team averages 17.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I wrote it down. 17.4.
Mm-hmm.
Which is way
In a 25 shot round.
17.
Yeah.
17.
And that's good. That's a good average
now
to have.
we're talking from, we have 6th graders all the way up to 12th grade. So we have a big range of students. We got 40 kids. So
Right after that first year, we included the middle school level so that they all shoot together.
Right.
And you have some middle schoolers that actually technically shoot like varsity because they shoot so well.
Well, they are varsity.
Okay.
The league doesn't distinguish grades or ages. They distinguish by score.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's a few right off the top of my head. Jack Zagaiski. I think he's a middle schooler, but he shoots varsity.
Mm-hmm.
Drake Belinsky.
Right.
He's another one. These kids are just outstanding.
Right. Because it's not an MHSA sanctioned sport, we can get away with that where the middle schoolers can compete with the high schoolers. Because in all the other sports that are through the MHSA, you can't have middle schoolers and high school. The MHSA is actually, from what I have heard, they're actually thinking about looking into having it as a sport.
I think, and that's been a discussion, right? Between the coaches and parents.
Right.
We would welcome that. That's what we're striving for. Let's make this a legitimate, respectable sport.
Well, I think it is, but I don't think like the notoriety is there as much as it could be.
No, given that it is an Olympic sport, you don't see too much of it. I think that media's got a lot to play with that. So, I mean, to get back to what you said previously is, how do you, in today's world, how do you explain it with all the bad things that are happening? And it's just education. My thought on it is take the curiosity out of a gun and be there to teach the children how to use it right.
Sure.
So
let me ask you this. You started in 2016. We just wrapped up our 4th season, correct?
Correct.
How many accidents in the 4 years?
None.
Any close calls?
I don't know how to explain close.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some incidents that could have been serious, but
But everybody's on their toes and paying attention to
just
safety.
paying attention to safety and what you're taught. Keep it pointed in a safe direction.
And that's and I guess it's fair to say too that some of the students that come out there, they've never even fired a gun before. Is that correct?
There's a few that we start off. I like them to come out, experience it. Like I said, it takes the curiosity out of it. Some of them even like it. Come back the next year. So
Yeah.
but I think Jeff Russell said it when we were at the States when he had his opening ceremonies. I think there's 50 million trigger pulls without an accident in the league.
50 million.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's pretty impressive. I heard him say that and I was like, wow, that's unbelievable.
But that's everybody takes safety. That's number one.
Right.
Safety,
Good.
fun, and marksmanship.
And it should be, yeah. I mean, it should be.
Right.
So if there's a student athlete out there, there's an Armada student who is interested or may be interested in the future, how do they become a member of the team?
Get your hunter safety. You can email me at armadatrap@gmail.com.
Okay.
And then we can get the ball going. Like I said, the fall season's coming up. August, we're going to start registration. So I'll try to get something out there. We have a Facebook page, Armada Trap. We'll get something posted out on that.
Good. So if I'm new and I'm coming in, what do I need to supply as a member of the team?
Your own equipment. Bring your own gun, eye protection, ear protection. That's a must. hunter safety. Ammunition, we got a booster club going right now. The boosters are trying to take care of the ammunition. They're making some deals with local sporting goods, so we can get some deals on ammunition there. But that's what you basically need, ammunition and a gun. Range fees.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's a typical cost? So like, I come in and I'm gonna shoot in the spring season, which just, we just ended here. Well, we didn't really end because we have nationals, but.
The spring season, I asked $360 per student. That covered 10 weeks, twice a week. So it's 100 rounds of ammunition plus 2 range, or actually 4, right? Because we're shooting 50 per night. So that's $8 in range fees per night, 16 a week. So, but
so fairly reasonable. I mean,
we're trying to lower the cost through the boosters, fundraising and stuff like that. But Dunham's has really done us a big favor and given us a discount on ammunition. So
okay, good.
We're always looking.
Well, honestly, we're certainly proud of the growth in the team. You and your coaching staff, the guys that help out, Mr. Priestcorn and Mr. Burnett and those guys.
Mr. Byer.
I mean, there's a lot of them that, I don't want to forget anybody, but.
There's a long list.
I know. And, but those guys are a big part of it, and I know some of them have been around since the first year we started. And that means a lot, so we're proud of the growth. We're certainly proud of your state championship. I was out there. That was no small feat. There was a lot of teams out there. That was no small feat.
A lot of people.
Yeah, so for you guys to do that, you guys should definitely pat yourselves on the back. It's really, really, and a really great accomplishment. So
thanks.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Don.
It's been my pleasure. I'm glad that we had a chance to talk.
Yeah, I am too. I thought maybe I'd come down and we could promote this a little bit more.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And who knows, maybe you'll get some more students who are interested after they see this. Like you said, education is the big thing.
It's coming. I've gotten a couple of emails so far. 6th graders are looking. Going into 6th grade. So we'll get them started.
Sounds good.
Hopefully, we'll keep the state championship here. We don't want to give it up to Richmond no more.
Don't give it up. So, all right, good deal. Well, that's all we have really for this show. I want to thank Cliff for coming out and talking with us. Again, if you want more information on the trap team, you can email Cliff at armadatrap. It's armadatrap@gmail.com, right?
Correct.
Yeah, armadatrap@gmail.com. You can also go on their Facebook page. They have a Facebook page at Armada Trap. Or you can email my office as well, and obviously you can even message us on Facebook as well. So again, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we'll get another episode in soon for you. That's all for now. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Tiger Talk.